The cobalt is a strategic commodity that is reshaping global trade, fueling a technological revolution, creating new economic dependencies, and even redrawing the lines of geopolitical influence. Here's a breakdown of how cobalt is exerting its economic power. 1. The engine of the green energy transition, the biggest driver. Cobalt is a critical component in the cathodes of most lithium-ion batteries. The global push for electrification, primarily in transportation, has turned cobalt into a strategic mineral. Electric vehicle, EV. Boom. The single largest demand driver for cobalt is the EV industry. High-performance EV batteries often use chemistries like NMC, lithium nickel, manganese, cobalt oxide, because cobalt provides stability, safety, and energy density. The global race to dominate the EV market, led by China, the US, and Europe, is fundamentally a race to secure cobalt supplies. Energy storage, large-scale battery storage for renewable energy, solar, wind, and hydro, wind, also relies on lithium-ion technology, further increasing demand. Economic impact. This has created a massive and rapidly growing market. The cobalt market was valued at around $17 billion in 2023 and is projected to grow significantly. This growth attracts immense investment, speculation, and volatility. 2. The geopolitics of supply, concentration, and control. The economic power of cobalt is magnified by its extremely concentrated and geopolitically sensitive supply chain. The Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, dominance. Approximately 70 to 75% of the world's cobalt is mined in the DRC. This gives the DRC and the companies that control its mines enormous geopolitical leverage. Chinese refining dominance. While mined in the DRC, around 80% of the world's cobalt is refined in China. China has strategically invested billions in DRC mines and infrastructure via its Belt and Road Initiative to secure this supply. This control over the midstream refining process is arguably even more powerful than controlling the raw ore. Economic impact, resource nationalism. The DRC is seeking a greater share of the profits, having renegotiated contracts and increased royalties. This can disrupt supply and increase costs for Western companies. Supply chain risk. Any political instability, policy change, or export restriction in the DRC sends shockwaves through the global market, causing price spikes and panic buying. Geopolitical leverage. Control over cobalt is a key piece in the broader economic and technological competition between China and the West. The US and EU are actively developing policies to break their reliance on this China-dominated supply chain. 3. Price volatility and market speculation. Cobalt is a notoriously volatile commodity. Inelastic supply. You can't just turn on a new cobalt mine quickly. It takes 5 to 10 years and billions of dollars. Surges in demand, sudden policy announcements, e.g., a major country banning gas cars, can cause demand forecasts and prices to skyrocket. Speculation. Traders and investment funds actively trade cobalt, which can amplify price swings based on news and rumors, not just physical supply and demand. Economic impact. This volatility makes it difficult for battery and car manufacturers to plan and price their products long-term, creating financial risk and uncertainty in entire industries. 4. The cobalt curse and the informal economy. The cobalt rush has a dark economic underside, particularly in the DRC. Artisanal and small-scale mining, ASM. An estimated 15 to 30% of the DRC's cobalt comes from informal miners, cruisers, who dig by hand in dangerous conditions. This creates a parallel, largely unregulated economy. Ethical and ESG pressures. Western companies, under pressure from consumers and investors to prove their supply chains are clean and free from child labor, are spending billions on traceability and certification schemes. This creates a cost premium for ethical cobalt. Economic impact. This bifurcates the market and creates a cobalt curse similar to the resource curse, where a country rich in resources sees the wealth concentrated among a few, while many miners live in poverty and face human rights abuses. 5. Driving technological innovation and substitution. The high cost and geopolitical risk of cobalt are forcing a massive economic investment in R&D to find alternatives. Cobalt-free batteries. Companies like Tesla are rapidly moving to chemistries like LFP, lithium iron phosphate, which contain no cobalt. This is a direct economic response to cobalt's constraints. Cobalt-light batteries. Battery makers are continuously engineering ways to reduce the cobalt content in NMC batteries, e.g., moving from NMC 111 to NMC 811, where the cobalt ratio is drastically reduced. Recycling economy. The high value of cobalt is creating a powerful,